What's up guys, how's it going? In this video we're going to take a look at a little detail I feel like not a lot of people ask about. It's when exactly the Anchorage simulation was created. There's definitely some things in it that muddy the waters on this subject, but let's start with these holotapes over here, which will give us a good idea of how and when it started. And the audio logs we're going to be taking a look at are these four over here. At the back of the simulation room, you can see that we have 4 reconstructed audio logs. These are some old pre-war audio logs that the Brotherhood of Steel must have salvaged when they were here. We're going to give those a listen real quick.
You and me both. General gets any more comfortable here, and there's going to be a lot more all-nighters for everybody. I hear Chase is having to deliver his personal effects. Heck, including an overnight cop. Between us, I think the General's taken a little too much interest in the project. You know how the CEO's office is usually a formality?
Yeah, got to. These bombers Chase requested. We're pushing the system to the brink with all this crap.
Let's see. I can just reallocate some of them. Yeah, that frees up memory for the bombers.
Alright, this first one doesn't give us much in the way of a timeline other than it being pre-war and telling us the fact that General Chase was highly invested in this project, which explains why he was in it and seemed like such a Chad. Yeah, not a whole lot there really, just that he was kind of obsessed with it. And that General Chase, in case you wondered, was a real person.
Yeah, exactly. They're in for a long haul.
You'd think, but they're not like us. Their boys are drafted and left row to whatever shit assignment they're handed.
No, it's not that at all. I get that the Chinese occupation in Alaska is strictly military, but don't you think they settled in a bit?
Alright, this is our first major hint as to when the simulation was created. It was during the Chinese occupation of Alaska, but apparently the Chinese were first there only as a military force and were not actually invading at the time. I guess they went there to claim to keep the peace, but as you can see, that didn't turn out so well.
Chimera tanks? Come on, man. Even you have to admit these are sheer fantasy.
Look, this is the job. Most of these scenarios will never happen. But if they do, we'll have a plan.
I swear, if Chase comes to us with another ridiculous contingency scenario...
Alright, this one's also an interesting one. As you can see here, apparently the Chimera tanks did not exist at the time they were making the simulation, but General Chase came up with the idea, I guess, in preparation because he thought that was something they could make at some point. This shows that the simulation was actually made during the conflict and not afterwards, or before.
I got word from Blast of the Pentagon. We're going to need to modify the ROE in the Chinese to match this.
We just got more field reports from DOD. Hey, Rick, you busy?
What we've gathered from these audio logs is that the Chinese decided to set up a military force in Alaska, and that in turn started the creation of this simulation pod. We can see that General Chase was obsessed with the idea. We can also see that the Chimera tanks did not exist at the time of the making of the simulation, and we do not know if they were ever actually created at all. But now we're going to take a look at some things that make this a little confusing and kind of contradict the fact that this was made during the invasion. And we're going to actually ignore the fact that you need a Pip-Boy to get into it because, I mean, that's just the game trying to make you feel special and explain away why the Brotherhood of Steel couldn't get into it themselves. But we're going to take a look at some other things here which muddy the waters quite a bit. The first one we are going to take a look at is this photo being taken in the simulation. After you do a couple missions in the simulation, you can head outside to the army base and you can see we have this scene play out here.
Alright boys, I'm gonna make you famous. Get yourselves into a heroic pose. Okay, that's it. Just like that. Hold still. Excellent. The capital pose thanks you. Who knows, maybe someone will turn this photo into a statue. Alright, boys, try not to die out there, okay? God bless you. And God bless the US of A.
This part confuses me quite a bit. The timeline we got so far is that the simulation was made before any actual battle took place. So how would they have known exactly how the picture used for the Anchorage Memorial would come to be? I guess the government could have planned it out long before the simulation, but I'd believe that idea more if it wasn't an exact one-to-one copy of the actual memorial itself. Memorials are usually made well after battles are over, so this feels a little shoehorned in. Did someone actually even see this play out? The only person who could have would have been General Chase, but I have my doubts about that. I just feel like this scene alone would make people think that it's a post-Anchorage battle simulation, when it actually isn't. Another thing that can lead to some confusion is the fact that you can find Jingwei's shock sword in the storage room once you complete the Anchorage simulation. This is another thing that could make it feel like it was a post-battle simulation, but as General Chase says here, this part was only the beginning of the Battle of Anchorage and not actually the end, if this simulation is to be believed anyway with any form of accuracy. Keep in mind that I do know that the simulation is mostly propaganda. I like the idea that a random American soldier can speak fluent Chinese to the general and vice versa. It's kind of funny. You can even convince him to kill himself. Like, that is great, honestly. Anchorage appreciation moment. As you can see here, once we actually complete this and kill him, General Chase will come and talk to us, and he will tell us that this was actually not the end of the Battle of Anchorage. If any of this is to be believed, this is only the beginning.
That'll do, soldier. Stand down. With the General's death, our boys can secure this refinery and be on their way to Anchorage proper. You've helped pave the way for taking the city back from the Reds, soldier. Good work. You've also gone above and beyond the call of duty by recovering important enemy intel and exposing their plans to us. Again, well done, soldier. That'll complete this portion of your training. Report to your superior for debriefing and your next assignment. Dismissed!
But yeah, all in all, the simulation is definitely interesting, gives us a little bit of a look into the pre-war preparations they made for the Battle of Anchorage. But yeah, that's going to conclude our deep dive on the timeline of the construction of the Anchorage simulation and the timeline of the battle itself to some extent. I hope you guys enjoyed, and have a good one.